Good news, there is a spirit world. A few things I want to say about this. First of all, when we think about human beings, what we are, who we are, is in fact a soul. Um, that term might be strange for many people. Uh, Throughout history, the word soul has been confused with spirit. At the end of the day, these are just um, words that we're ascribing to what we see, what exists in reality. So the fact that people uh, have attributed different meanings to things like soul and spirit has largely to do with our ignorance of these deeper issues throughout our history. Um, when I talk about the soul, um, and by the way, I'm getting all of this from Jesus, and he is probably going to be a better teacher than I am. So if you want to hear it from the lion's mouth, go to the Divine Truth channel on YouTube. But I'm going to give you a basic rundown. When I talk about the soul, I'm talking about that being who we are in fact. Um, Now, at the moment of our conception, when we come to the earth, we have our soul becomes attracted, even though we don't have any real knowledge. Um, this is something that happens as a result of God's laws. We don't have any knowledge or awareness of ourselves, but our soul uh, splits at that point, the point of conception. I don't know when exactly it happens. I don't know if it happens when sperm fertilizes in the egg, but it's around that time. And if you've talked to women who have become pregnant, many times they will know. In my case, my mother basically knew something was happening, and she told my father at the time of my conception, um, if there, if we have a child, don't worry, basically something like that. Anyway, and if you're a woman and if you've ever been pregnant, you might recall that you kind of had the feeling that there was a major event that occurred. So basically, at this time of conception, the soul splits in two, and um, one part of that soul is attracted to a physical body and a spiritual body that is created at the time of conception. Later on, the second half of that soul will be attracted to a physical body and a spirit body somewhere else, to different parents. What I'm saying here basically is that there are soulmates. Um, this video is going much longer than I thought, but I think this is important. So basically, what I am saying here is that you are not only a soul, not only do you have a soulmate, who is a person that shares the same soul as your own, but I'm also saying that you also have a spirit body and a physical body. So you exist in three parts. Again, you have a soul, you have a spirit body, and you have a physical body. As I understand it, the soul is connected to the spirit body through what's known as a golden cord, and the spirit body is connected to the physical body through what's known as a silver cord. At the time of your death, the silver cord will snap, basically, you you as a soul uh, remain connected to your spirit body, but the silver cord that is connected to your physical body will snap, and um, the life force that uh, is directed at your physical body will no longer provide your physical body with energy, and your physical body will deteriorate. Um, so, what else can we say here? The spirit world, which is the term that I was taught growing up, and which is a term that Jesus and Mary use. Um, what we're referring to here is the afterlife. It can take many names. I want to bust one myth here that there is only a heaven and a hell. In fact, the spirit world is a vast place. That's why I think, the term spirit world is a better, more appropriate term ultimately. So what I'm saying here is that there is not just heaven and there is not just hell. There's actually many levels, many areas. These areas and levels can also be referred to as dimensions, and many spirits refer to them as spheres. So you have different levels, and there's a hierarchy of levels from a lower level to a higher level. When you're ready to go to a higher level, you move from the lower level to the higher level. And to a certain point, there can be some growth and some depression, let's say. But the important point to take away here is that if you go to hell, you are not consigned to hell forever. That is a very unfortunate myth that exists, that you cannot develop or grow from a place, a very dark condition. You, in fact, can grow from a very dark condition. And what governs where you actually go in the spirit world has all to do with the condition of your soul. And when I talk about the condition of your soul, I'm talking about love versus a lack of love. I'm talking about having emotional injuries. I'm talking about sin, which is doing things that are unloving, committing harmful acts towards yourself or others. So the good news is that we can grow, we can develop, and when we pass, it's not a static state. Also, we are not dead. I've worked through these issues in my own life, and I've come to realize that there is no real need to grieve someone's death, because they continue. Life continues. The spirit world, life in the spirit world, is simply a continuation of life on earth. So I'm going to keep this video under 10 minutes. I hope some of these ideas will you can take and you can contemplate and ask God. Ask people who you know who have passed away if they're still alive. Ask God if this is true. Someone can tell you that something is true, but you won't know until you find out for yourself. Thanks for watching.